got Kelly Slater's Freaks of Nature Sunscreen Company. We're going to be breaking down of their Instagram, YouTube channel. We even got their ads, so we're going to be diving into their meta ads. First and foremost, we're going to be talking about its overall brand strategy, whether you're owning your own brand or you're helping manage and create brands for other people, or maybe just one day you want to have your own brand. This content is for you. I saw Freaks of Nature, and let me pull this up. Go to the very, very bottom. Pay close attention to what Kelly's saying in the background here.
Somebody who's so persistent and they're never gonna not get what they want.
This is all so crucial right now in the very, very beginning. This is the second post that they ever did. And as you can see, even just from, nearly 500,000 views, he's establishing what the vision of Freaks of Nature is.
When I hear freak of nature, to me, it sounds like something that stands out from the pack.
As you can see, it's not just about him. He's really establishing the fact that this is more than him. This is a brand, Freaks of Nature, and they just happen to sell sunscreen. But again, just to get to the foreshadowing of what we'll talk about here in this breakdown is that they completely have missed the ball. And I remember watching this video, and I'll just keep it muted from now on, but we can still watch the visuals here. When I saw this video, I mean, look at Kelly in backdoor just getting absolutely shacked. There's a woman rock climbing over water. You have Ocean Ramsey diving with great whites. And I'm not sure what shark that was that flash, right? Like just incredible, incredible, incredible visuals. There's almost like a bit of storytelling going on here. Of course, Kelly is shredding. And so being a surfer, being an outdoorsman, being someone who just loves getting out there and really, I just like to push the boundaries myself with my own adventures and such. I just resonated so well with this. And in case you all don't know who I am, professionally speaking, I'm a marketing guy. I've been in marketing for nearly 10 years now, and I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of different brands, some incredible entrepreneurs. Talk about sharks. I actually got to work with a shark from Shark Tank, Damon John, one of the hosts of Shark Tank, incredible entrepreneur. And so the reason why I want to do this video is so that I can really help the story of Freaks of Nature or maybe the next sunscreen company or the next type of brand that wants to have, these incredible features to them. But unfortunately with Freaks of Nature, they just have missed the ball. When you look back at it's just hard for me to even stop watching that content. But let's go to where they're at today. Unfortunately, they are completely missing the mark when it comes to content and getting the type of awareness and getting the type of results that you would ultimately want to see for such a badass start of a brand. Unfortunately, I'll just dive into some of this content here. I was starting to watch this video. I actually started to watch this on their YouTube as well because I just had no idea what was going on here. But kind of like a chubby dude. We saw him shirtless in the very, very beginning there. I mean, but hey, that's all right. I'm not saying that you got to be like super ripped. I'm just saying like when I think of Freaks of Nature, people who stand out from the pack, I'm wondering why this guy is just jogging so slow. I mean, he's almost walking. Then he is walking, and then it's just like shaky camera film. I didn't know for a while until I actually went into their YouTube channel and I started to watch this video here, which is Stick to It. It talks about this guy, Javi, and the Speed Project. I honestly, as you can see by the play bar, I actually didn't even get to watch that much of it because I was just like, unfortunately, this is just getting way too long. You can see how much I watched this. I mean, I watched almost the first quarter of it, but it just took forever just to get to the point of like what the heck this video is about. I really had just didn't even know. We have this guy, Colin Cook. I actually watched the beginning of this video, and y'all can watch this on your own if you really like. But one of the biggest things that you think about with Colin Cook is that if you zoom in, you'll actually be able to see that Colin had I'll zoom in for you. Colin had a shark bite that caused him to lose his back leg. You can see it right there. Y'all see that? But this is something that's awesome. Like that, like I only watched the beginning of this video because I was like, all right, I get the gist. Like the dude lost his leg, but he's continuing to surf and he's from Rhode Island, but now he lives in Hawaii. And okay, awesome. Like that dude, he's starting to become a freak of nature. I wouldn't call him like the ultimate freak of nature. But I would certainly say that the dude's at it. And, a part of Freak of Nature's tagline is stick to it. And I think that's like a really great person to be sponsoring and to be featuring. Um, the other kind of kicker here is let's not just think of the quality of content. Let's look at the quantity of content here, right? We have just 5 videos on their YouTube channel. Um, and not even this month. This one was 1 month ago, another month ago, a few months ago, a few months ago, a few months ago. Um, I would definitely be, here's my first point, right? Is like stories of actual freaks of nature. And it really comes back to what Kelly's quote was in the very beginning, when he was saying, hey, these are people who stand out in the pack. Of course you think of Kelly being the goat that he is, but of course there are other people out there too. As a positive is this chick, Alex Armstrong. They call her Army.
I think I'm pretty obsessed with
She
skiing.
absolutely charges. I mean, look at this backcountry skiing.
My
I would
name is
consider
Alex
that to be a freak of nature.
Armstrong. My
Now we're
friends call me
talking. But when you look at a lot of their content, my goodness, I mean, like, I just hate to say it, but like, I just don't think this cuts it. Like when you say that big 50K race, it's just a screenshot. There's not a whole lot of storytelling here. It's kind of funny that the dad just said okay to to his son being like, "Hey man, like I did this big thing and thank you for the grit and determination you gave me." I don't know, man. Like I just don't think that's someone who's standing out in the pack. I think from a brand perspective, it started off so strong. Like Ocean Ramsey as a great example, unbelievable water woman in her own right and probably in her own rights. She has so many badass things about her. Again, I'm just thinking about like from a brand point of view, first and foremost, whenever you're doing anything about, setting the vision for your brand and making it like, hey, from the start, this is what we believe in, this is who we are. Um, I would just want to be showcasing those stories a heck of a lot more. And notice how I say stories, not just facts, not just like quick little things. I mean like true stories. Like if you could imagine for a second going to Ocean's content, right? Where Ocean Ramsey, this is her with all those sharks around her. Sometimes she's with tons of sharks and sometimes she's just with massive sharks. And obviously this is just like a very simple slow motion one clip post here. But man, tell me the story. Like at no point, nowhere on their YouTube channel, do we even see Ocean Ramsey. If you go down to if you're on their website, which their website is a whole other discussion that maybe we'll get to, maybe we won't, but you got to go back to, the mission page and then scroll down and then find this kind of like opaque Ocean Ramsey thing to then learn about, who Ocean is, even though her head's getting somewhat cut off. Like, oh man, there's just, let me digress a little bit. I'll simmer down. It just fires me up when a company starts off so strong with the best of intentions and then it just misses it. Because when I saw that ad, by the way, when I saw this video of Kelly, I was thinking to myself, wow, Kelly is going to destroy the sunscreen industry. They're going to blow up. I'm just thinking, I mean, look at how epic this is. Kelly shredding, doing his thing. Oh my gosh, they have this, they have Ocean a part of it. They have these incredible people and Freaks of Nature. What a great name. So imagine this video right here and imagine it actually starting with, it could even start with this clip, but perhaps it then rewinds to the beginning of the story, beginning of that day for Ocean, where she's leaving her house and, maybe it's a part of her routine to put that sunscreen on, or right when she's getting onto the boat, her and her husband, I think Juan Sharks is, the account of her husband. Um, you know, Imagine them putting on the sunscreen, getting out there, getting into the water with the sharks, like showing more of that story. I think there's a time and place for this type of one clip slow-mo type content. But certainly when it comes to branding and just overall marketing efforts, let's give them more. Ocean doesn't have to do anything more. She's hitting record all the time anyways. But man, would that give depth to the viewers that's so much more than just like product. You know what I mean? All right, let's keep rocking here. I'm gonna look at my notes. All right, negative management. Okay, this is super important, and this actually really struck me. This is bad. This is really bad. Negative management. Negative management kind of has like a double meaning here. Negative management is when your brand starts getting negative feedback at times, how you manage that negative engagement, and then also just like management overall, and them just having, I would just being blunt, kind of like like good management practices. Honestly, it's hard to even say that, like maybe subpar. But let's just take a look here, right? When we look at your pinned posts, especially on Instagram, your pinned posts do a lot of talking for you, right? It's your first impression when you go to someone's profile. It's the very first thing that you see. Look, even before I scroll down, of course I'm on my, computer here, but even if I was on my phone, it's the first line of imagery that we see. And this is a powerful image of Kelly with the sunscreen, caked on him like that. Positive headline right here. Kelly Slater's new sunscreen is the correct choice this summer. Okay. That seems great. But unfortunately, when you start to look at these comments, it goes south real quick. So total ripoff, stay away from this company. Bottles all weigh different amounts, even though it's the same product slash size. Customer service is non-responsive. Whoa. First off, he's talking about just generally just as a total ripoff. Bottles all weigh different amounts. Now they're basically calling them, like liars or, scammy products. And then customer service just saying that it's non-responsive. And by the way, this was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, y'all. I mean, if this was out for a day and this is your pinned post and you're driving traffic with all of these ads to your profile, and not to say that these buttons lead to your profile, but when someone sees an ad and they're curious, they're like, who is this? Oh, let me go take a look and see who they are. They're going to come here. They might even click on this awesome image of Kelly, but they will look at comments. And the fact that, this has been up for 4 weeks without any type of response. Why is there soybean oil in this? The only response was by some random dude with this type of content that said, I had the same question. I got so sick of these SPF companies sneaking crazy ingredients that I made my own. And there's no response to that either. This goes on like soybean oil, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. Look at this one. This is the last one that I'll explain because this is so damn important. Guys, I live in Byron Bay and spend a lot of time in the sun, surfing, fishing, and working in the yard. For the last 5 years, I've been using Feel Good Ink sunscreen, which has worked excellent, but has a couple of nasties in it. My wife bought me the 30 plus and 50 plus and the moisturizer for Christmas. I've used the sunscreen twice, both 50 and 30, got pretty bad sunburn both times. I'm already quite tan slash sun conditioned, but I was shocked at how burnt I got last week using your cream. Thoughts? And as you can see, I already opened up some of the replies because I wanted to see if they address this massively long thing that is obviously very bad when you're wearing sunscreen and you're getting sunburn as a surfer, fisherman, and just someone who works outside, And then this guy just said, I had the same experience this week. Not sure what we are paying for. Not sure what we're paying for, but it sure doesn't work. Negative management, y'all. These are negative comments. These are really bad. You do not want people, putting your company on this spotlight without, and here's the easy part, without responding, without addressing the issue. You don't even have to delete the comment. In fact, I would argue that it's better to keep the negative comment and to actually have that type of positive response to it. Let's say this. Why is there soybean oil in this? Or soybean oil down, 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 right? Go in there with the science. Go in there with like, hey, actually, soybean oil is derived in this. I actually heard there was a video of Ocean Ramsey talking about it. I had to do some digging. I mean, look, this video has like 800 views by some random YouTube channel. And Ocean Ramsey was talking about like biomimicry, where they basically mimic the natural ingredients that are in like in those natural organic types of products that we want to be wearing. We don't want to be putting chemicals on the body. That's Kelly's whole freaking point. If you watch any of those videos, Perfect. Just grab those words. Y'all don't even have to reinvent the wheel. Just grab those words that he's already saying or that your scientists are already saying and just slap them right here. Actually, soybean oil is the number one ingredient of the modern day health industry for your skincare because blah, 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 blah. Right. Or you address a negative. Maybe you're doing an update. Total ripoff. Let's talk about, bottles all weigh the same, different size, product size. I don't even need to go into details. You guys get the point. We have to manage these comments. This is so crucial, especially when it comes to, the top pinned posts. There's just really no real good excuse for that. I brought up Ocean Ramsey. There's also a Dr. Maxfield at 658. Let me show you at 658 in this. There's a dermatologist who talks about this, and let me just play it. Watch this. Listen to what he says.
This over a period of 2 or 3 weeks. I bought it as a pre-order.
Wait, sorry. I got this at 2x speed because I'm a nutcase, and since I watch videos a lot, I watch at 2x speed. So listen to this.
For a period of 2 or 3 weeks, I bought it as a pre-order, so I was an early user, and I have run 2 5Ks in it, which is just partly my normal run routine. I've gone surfing twice. I have exercised in it multiple times, and I have used it on a daily basis. If you are looking for an
Okay, perfect. And last sentence.
Sunscreen, if you're an active person, highly recommend this Freaks of Nature by Kelly Slater. Things you'll notice.
Right, like perfect. Let's just grab those words and let's address these negative comments with these like dermatologist words, right? I would even consider reaching out to, getting this guy. I mean, he speaks so highly of the product. What's his name? Dr. Maxfield. Dr. Max. My name's Max too. So anyways, grab his words, get him on the roster. Like if he's doing these 5Ks, if he's going surfing and he's a dermatologist, that is a perfect person to, even just to go back into the ads, right? When you look at a lot of these ads, I think one of the biggest problems that we see is that, stories. That was the first point, but one of the problems that we see with these ads are that it's almost all facts, right? Let me just highlight some things here. Just like nature, skin's harmony is made through balance. Fact, fact, fact. The barrier balancing cleanser deeply purifies without disrupting your skin's barrier. Fact, fact, fact. It melts SPF. Fact. Sweat and grime. Fact. While keeping your microbiome balanced and skin calm. Deep cleaning, barrier boosting. Tomorrow, meet the blah, blah, blah. And then let's look over at this one right here. This is actually a video here.
Super quick because we're about to go surfing. Tried every sunscreen there is.
We're about to go surfing. That was, oh my gosh, am I about to hear a story?
Freaks
Nope.
of Nature.
Freaks of Nature.
Freaks of Nature.
Kelly Slater's new brand.
11-time world
Okay, I like that. Freaks of Nature, Freaks of Nature, Freaks of Nature. 11-time world champ.
champion surfer. Good enough for Kelly. It's good enough for us.
100% mineral sunscreen and
Good enough for Kelly, good enough for us. Okay. Like we're starting to break the mold here, but tell me a story. Like at no point in any of these, and I'll just save you the time so you don't have to go through all of these like I did, is that it's just so much pushing, and that's really the thing about the difference between telling facts and telling a story is that when you're telling facts like any of these ads here, you're pushing product down people's throats. You're pushing facts into their brains. Stories are the opposite. Stories pull. Stories allow you to be like, hey, we're right here. We have these really awesome things going on, and feel free to come on and do this if you'd like, right? Because here's how we went about it, right? And I would lean into Kelly's story. I would lean into Ocean's story. I would create these, these incredible. I would just create a list of, all of the different freaks, the actual freaks of nature. Not just Colin Cook, where, hey, hats off to you, man, for getting back out there. But get Alex Armstrong times 10, times 100. I would create your ideal list of freaks of nature. Imagine Kelly's Rolodex, right? Like how many people Kelly knows that would be great that aren't sponsored by sunscreen companies, or maybe are sponsored by sunscreen companies and have maybe been looking for a more natural, organic option. And imagine if you went to the Florence brothers and sponsor them. I don't know if they would be interested in that or not, but you get the point. Like those guys stand out from the pack, and all of your content, I'll take that back. A lot of your content speaks to those true freaks of nature And then you go in and you feature the Colin Cooks, the guys who truly stick to it and do some exceptional things and really have exceptional stories. And better yet, your brand tells exceptional stories because you're pulling from these great people. I should not be going a quarter through a video of this dude, Javier Martinez, that where I don't even know who the heck he is. I don't know what he's been through. He could be a total badass, but it took me forever, way too long in this digital world that we live in to understand what the heck is going on here. As opposed to, let's say, Alex Armstrong, where their team did a great job. I'm not saying their team is just doing a ton of bad stuff. Let's give credit where credit's due. They did a great job with Alex Armstrong, by being super
I think
visual
I'm pretty obsessed
right
with
off the
skiing.
get-go. And what did she say in the very beginning there?
I think I'm pretty obsessed with skiing.
I think I'm pretty obsessed with skiing. Boom, massive backcountry, huge.
My name is Alex
drop.
Armstrong. My friends call me
Oh,
Army,
sick.
and I'm from Squamish, BC.
My friends call me Army. I'm from this place. After I show you how badass I am, I'm now relatable with this nickname and from this little town. Let me tell you my story. Let's do this times 10, times 100. All right. The last thing is expanding your origins with brand enablement. So when it comes to those influencers and those ads, right? So even when we look back at some of the, by the way, influencer marketing is advertising. It's a type of advertising. And so when we look at all of these people I'm not sure if y'all can see it with my thing here. Okay. I'm gonna make sure you can. There we go. So and I'm just going to mute it for a second. So when we see all these people flashing, including Kelly, he's an influencer. He's a type of influencer. He's an influential person, right? Not just some fashion influencer. It's really, really important to enable your brand. Even that guy that just flashed super quick on screen. I can't remember his name, but this dude right here. This guy. I forget his name. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name. But he has a huge following. I've followed him for a little while. I've kind of stopped following him for a bit because I just don't really use Instagram as much anymore. But the point being is, like, what if you enabled your brand? What if you gave guys like him, or even the girl at the beginning, the storytelling component that you could have for show me how you're a freak of nature, right? Like let's take a page out of Nike's book, where Nike does an incredible job of doing what? They simply honor the best, right? When you think of LeBron James, he's been with Nike forever. You think of, A-Rod, you think of Maria Sharapova, you think of these legends, you think of the best in the game. They always honored them through their marketing efforts. And they just would do that with, LeBron James doing the biggest dunk you've ever freaking seen. Or maybe not ever, but you get the point. He's doing this massive dunk, and he just happens to be wearing those Nike shoes, right? Maria Sharapova getting that win, like throwing her hands up in the air, and she just happens to be wearing that Nike check, right? This is so critical for brands of today to really recognize this. And notice these examples that I'm giving, they're not new, but they are extremely important for especially growing brands to really consider. It's so easy for us to push product, to push facts. It's so much better to pull people towards our brand, towards our kingdom that we are building. You with me? So let me go ahead and I want to give a really good example. Actually, perfect, right? So the last thing here is I want to give an example of this Nike ad. It's actually a female athlete ad called So Win by Nike. And I'm going to play it for you because I think you could probably imagine, freaks of nature doing a thing like this, an ad or even just multiple different content pillars like this, where, freaks of nature has been really leaning into that line of stick to it. If you look at their homepage right here, we have stick to it right at the very top here. Right. But I think that's a huge part that's actually missing within the brand where, LeBron James, he didn't just like have this awesome climb exactly to the top and had this like beautiful little elevator ride to the top. No, the dude had a freaking roller coaster, ups and downs. And so, I think it's super important when we think of that line of stick to it that I love. It's kind of this, right? Like having a stick of sunscreen and then stick to it. Like, let's honor the greats and then also show their, the ups and downs that they go through. So let me play this video for you. It's called So Win by Nike.
You can't be demanding. You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So, put yourself first. You can't be confident. So be confident. You can't challenge. So challenge. You can't dominate. So dominate. You can't flex. So flex. You can't fill a stadium. So fill that stadium. You can't be emotional. So be emotional. You can't take credit. You can't speak up. You can't be so ambitious. You can't break records. You can't have any fun. You can't make demands. You can't keep score. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Right? Like, how freaking epic. Like, how freaking epic. You can't win, so win. Like, why isn't Freaks of Nature leaning into that for their stick to it? And here's the thing. I get it. Like, I don't know the team behind, Freaks of Nature. I just saw the ad a while ago, and it seems like they have really good intentions. And I actually really love their overall mission, right? Where their whole thing is to basically use these organic ingredients, these very simple ingredients, that doesn't harm the reef and it doesn't harm your body. I could not agree more with that mission. I just think with the right type of tweaks to be made and the clarity with direction, this team behind Freaks of Nature could be doing some incredible work. I'd love to work more with you guys, or if you're another sunscreen company or another company like this that really wants to take it to the next level, I'd love to be able to help, because this messaging and this overall marketing effort stemming from your vision, be it Kelly with, hey, when I think of Freaks of Nature is this type of person, right? They go above and beyond what the pack typically does. And you get these incredible people like Ocean Ramsey and like that other dude, Colin Cook, let's grab these people. Let's tell their stories. Let's make this a movement. And, we just so happen to sell sunscreen that helps you get out there and stay out there so you can stick to it. Now we're talking. So I'll end it with that. I always have more ideas that come to me whenever I go through these different things. I mean, even their ads, I could dive into so much more. But I do want to keep this relatively concise and focused. Man, Freaks of Nature, I hope you guys win. I really want y'all to really take this to the next level, because you guys are onto something. You're onto something. And I think, again, just with a few tweaks, it could make a world of a difference. So anyways, my name is Max Muller. If you like the video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, for whatever reason, if there was maybe something that you thought could be improved, don't just leave. Let me know. I'm always looking to improve myself. So, drop a comment, or even if you have questions or comments and you just have an idea that's a half-baked idea that you want to, share, I'm going to be responding to all the comments down below. So I don't know, maybe you're thinking about, like, when you see, this girl with the suds on her face, then, something comes up, bring that idea up, bring the questions up. And if y'all want to work further, you could always hit the link down in the description and apply for us to work together. But nonetheless, let's go. Come on, Freaks of Nature. And if you guys have your own brand that needs help as well, and if you guys just need, someone to bounce things off of, well, this is what that channel is all about. So hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.